therapist. To answer this question, what is it that you need to study if you want to become Islamic therapist, Islamic counselor, Islamic coach? I've decided to guide you through it. There is a lot that's going on out there in coaching, in counseling, training, and psychology training world. It really is. But you shouldn't make decision based on only, I would say, recommendation. You also should base decision on thorough information about your course provider, as well as you should base your decision on what science say to us that works right now. If you are healing yourself, or if you want to heal yourself with Quran and Sunnah, and as well, if you want to help others to heal themselves with Quran and Sunnah, and if you want to go out there and call yourself Islamic therapist, this or the other, you really need to understand that there are certain, let's call phenomena or basics, fundamentals that you really need to learn how to work with, see the world of therapy through those lenses. And that's why I've published this book, Islamically Inspired Self-Development. And because I came to understanding after interviews of therapists, psychotherapists, psychologists, deep practitioners, Rakis, that there is a common thread to what is it that 21st century Muslim psyche needs. But it's not only me who actually discovered that, it's also thousands and thousands of other providers out there. And purely because I'm here based in UK, I'm going to talk to you about what's available online here for us. So the first program that you might have been considering is Muslim College in Cambridge. And what they do, they have quite a few of them, but they also have online diploma in Islamic psychology. And I think they are launching master's degree as well in it. And what they do, please pay attention, what they do, they train you in Islamic philosophy and theology of the soul. So studying the concept of the soul is very important. And Dr. Rotman here, he already displayed his model here. I suggest you all get accustomed with it. Islamic ethics and law of spirituality, quite interesting combination, I would say. Islamic medicine. Yes, Islamic medicine is really important, even if you are just talking therapist. There are certain phenomena, certain aspects, for instance, working with personality, working with group, meaning the vital force, and somatics, certain elements in Islamic healing that you also need to know before you call yourself Islamic therapist. And then the birth of the modern subjectivity, modern psychology, religion, and spirituality, how it all comes together. So it's quite a brainy approach, and it's quite theory-based and an evidence-driven approach, allowing you to understand where psychology is and when Islamic psychology comes with it. Or maybe the other way around. I don't know. Study and you find and you arrive to your own decisions. Modern trends in Islamic psychology, exactly. Islam, personality and lifespan of development, absolutely. Context of Islamic psychology, tradition and reality. This is great curriculum. And we have also Islamic psychotherapy and counseling. And what's going on in Islamic psychotherapy and counseling, you would know more if you are specifically interested in studying counseling and psychotherapy. But just staying here with Islamic psychology, it's important to notice that there are other programs as well, like Open University, Islamic Open University, and they also leading you from zero to hero through psychology, and they comparing in the curriculum Islamic psychology to mainstream psychology. So yes, so like child psychology, combined, followed by Islamic studies, or perspective of psychology, followed by Islamic psychology. Same thing here. You know that you can't escape from certain aspects of psychology developed by mainstream thinkers, but you need to give yourself an effort to see it through the prism of Tawheed, Quran, and Sunnah, and traditions of healing. That's why if you're reading it with me here, you see psychology of adolescence, personality, Islamic studies again, Islamic psychotherapy and counseling, again, so and psychology of human communication, relations, and health psychology. So there's many branches of psychology. And if you want to become psychologist and call yourself Islamic psychologist, you probably want to understand that there's the place to study any place that where you choose to study it, you will also have to reevaluate, learn, and acquire knowledge about just psychology and then compare it to psychology. Now, as you can see, psychotherapy and counseling are the branch of psychology that are like separate, and they have separate angle to it. And I'm going to show you what Al-Bala Academy, by the way, a disclosure, I'm not representing any of those organizations. I might teach for some of them, but I'm not being paid for this, okay? This is just purely for your information, because that decision is really difficult, I can imagine. So if you want to study psychology and counseling with Al-Bala institution, this is what you can expect from them. Introduction to the subject, Islamic psychology, model of the self. I emphasize how important that is, and you already noticed that Open University, they don't go into it, or they don't advertise that they're teaching it, but Muslim College in Cambridge, they actually take it as a serious matter, and I suggest you do as well. You can't work with Muslim psyche unless you know how it's built. And then we have counseling and listening skills. Absolutely. My suggestion is that those skills are best studied in person, in classroom. However, right now we have this blended approach after COVID, where we sometimes have 70, 80% in the classroom, 20, 30, or I know 40% online. And both counseling and coaching will be allowing it to do. And then what happens in Al-Bala Academy, they give you introduction to diseases of the mind and the heart, anger, stress, anxiety, depression, but also jinn and black magic. You see, something you haven't seen in other programs that I already showed to you. But if you're studying counseling, you're sort of going deep down into the grassroots problems. And that's what Muslim clients expecting from you as well. You need to be equipped in that knowledge and tools. Not to say that you need to become a Raki. By all means, do have a list where you can signpost, but you need to know how to diagnose, not in a doctory sense, but how to listen to a client and how to guide them through, navigate through symptoms, because surely if you're not practicing already, this is coming your way. Keep and healthy eating. Again, as I said to you, becoming Islamic therapist, Islamic psychologist, counselor or coach, you cannot escape from an organic approach to it. So that's why probably Al-Bala already introducing it, marriage and family issues, and psychosis from Islamic perspective. Exactly. It's really important to understand where pathology of mind and emotions feed into or stop or I don't know, go together with spiritual diseases. And that's what Al-Bala is prepared to give you introduction to. And then you can develop those skills into level 2 with Al-Bala, and then you going into conventional models in psychology and comparing it to Islamic model of psychology. Again, model of the soul, model of the self. You see, you can't escape from it. You need to understand what is the concept of the selfhood based on Quran, Sunnah, and predominantly Al-Ghazali. I'm giving something away for those of you who are interested. You're probably appreciating it already. Psychology of children and young people, quite interesting. Teens and adolescents, quite interesting. I would assume that this is developed because there's plenty coaches who help supporting parents. So that's quite relevant. Relationship, again, marital issues, social characteristic of Muslim communities. That's interesting. So, we have some social psychology here. And again, mental illness comes back again, mental disorders, gene possessions, again, going probably in depth. And what to do next with that, that's the question. Now, please don't think that this is where your journey should finish or stop, because that's really not the case. If you've seen my video before, when I talked about a route of becoming Islamic counselor, you will understand that everything that I'm presenting to you actually is not going to give you skills in counseling. These are only introductions to Islamic counseling skills and Islamic counseling of therapy. Same thing goes for coaches. You need to equip yourself. You need to transform your ways of being with a person, therapeutically speaking, and that is completely different part of the completely different case, completely different course, completely different approach. But please watch the other video. What we're discussing here is probably CPD approach. So we've covered so far Cambridge Muslim College, Al-Bala, but as well Islamic Open University, and this is something that I found as well, the Muslim Life Coach. There's plenty of websites like this which offer you certification, and they do teach you quite a few skills, including business skills. They teach nafsiyat, they call it nafs coaching approach, but you also need to watch whether they are certified and by whom and how long does it take to get that certification from. Something that you will learn from my next video. Which is going to talk about how to become Islamic coach. So what I've showed, what I've just presented to you right now is a brief idea of what is it that you should expect from your online or classroom-based Islamic psychology, Islamic counseling or coaching course. Okay, it's an amana to work with people. Not everyone understands what it takes to be Halil, meaning helper, or what it takes to be therapist, especially from Islamic perspective. So if you grew to that point when you're understanding that you need to take your practice further, you need to upskill your practice. Alhamdulillah, you should be blessed. It's one of the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you love somebody, he gives you knowledge and you definitely awaken, but you also understand that it's quite a responsibility. So no, it's not the case that you have to go and study Islamic science and spend the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or maybe even go to Medina and study it. It's not necessarily the case, because it's not going to give you grounded information about what Islamic psychology is. It would be great if you have that already. That would help, but that is completely different realm of working with people. That is a nasihat, a theology-based nasihat that is not working with human emotion and human concept of the self. Now, I want to show you something which I also think is quite interesting, and that is my approach to becoming Islamic therapist and Islamic healer, and that is divided into Islamic healing, Islamic psychology, Islamic selfhood, there you go, as well as nasiha model, and basics of Islamic therapy approach. Now, all of those you can read from my website, and all of those you can study in your own time. But today I want to show you the insights. I want you to see exactly day by day, almost, because it's online based approach to study, you can expect from working with me. So this program, which I've called Raising Islamic Therapists Within, is going to give you insight into what fundamentals of Islamic psychologies are. And every lesson, what you can expect from each and every lesson is followed by a video which is giving you introduction to the subject, as well quite a few articles, quite a few even books, as well as tests and so forth. So in Fundamentals of Islamic Psychology, you would have learned about Islamic psychology, Nasiha. What is it that Muslim client needs? Something that I haven't seen in previous curriculums from other providers. You need to understand what are the needs of your client, really. And I went into depth of research, as I said, based on my research and published in Islamic Inspired Self-Development. I know what Muslim clients need. I sat down with them. I've committed a few research about that, and the data coming forward is quite clear, and that's what you're going to learn from this course. But also you need to have some respect, some due respect and appreciation to what is it that that happened in the past for Islamic psychology of healing, and also who are the leading names and personal sages nowadays. So that's what you can learn from this first chapter. From second chapter, which is called process of therapeutic growth. You will understand how to see a growth of the client. Let me just show you how those slides look like, because you might think to yourself, it's a black page. No, it's not. So in that chapter, you will learn how to recognize people coming to you and recognizing what is it that's going on for them from the theory perspective. You see, that's really important when you're sitting with the clients. You really need to understand not only what is it that they're experiencing, but from the perspective of theory, what is it that's happening for you, for them, and what is it for you that you need to be aware of. And again, you're going to have some slides. Now, what is going to happen in next chapter is fundamentals of Islamic healing. And this is, again, this organic approach when you will understand what is Shifa, when you will get good introduction to a subject of Afia, Marat, which is disease, disease causes as well, disease patterns, law of healing. I like this lesson especially because that gives you a great overview of what is it, or where is it that we were, and how is it that we are here in healing world, being psychologist, psychotherapist, coach, counselor, whatever is it that you do. You can't escape from those laws. So that's even better view on it. And then again, those lessons, they are going to have some tests for you, some printouts as well, helping you hopefully to work not only with your clients, but also foremost on yourself. And then something that again I've seen probably in psychology courses, not counseling courses, a great overview of what is it that we can take or should take from from psychology, and how to integrate it or not integrate it in work with Muslims. So family therapy, what is it that they have to offer? Solution focused therapy, humanistic therapy, cognitive behavioral theories, psychoanalysis theories, as well as an integrative approach. Now, something that is the heart of the course, every course, reputable course, Islamic healing, a reputable course, is the model of the self. And I'm not giving anything new away, because if you're following me, there's plenty of it in my videos already. So there you go. That's my model. If you have my book, you've probably seen it as well. So I talk about Akal, Nafs, Gal, Fitra. And what's new, according to my research, at least to my observation, is that many of the trainers and therapists themselves, they don't pay enough attention to, is that we also have external influences. So not only social or conditioning environment, but also rape environment, and how to work with genes. You see genes coming in again, but also angels and concept of qadr. Even names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something that we're going to cover soon. And before we do that, the absolute pleasure, the absolute revelation, I think, for me as a researcher, was the discovery of multiple intelligence in Islam. And that's not everyone writes about it. I think I've seen it in Dr. Hoffman book only, but you're going to learn how to develop different levels of intelligence based on Islamic psychology. So Ruhani, Nafsiani, Kalbani, Fitra, and Aklani, which is basically development of your selfhood. Now, if that's not enough, we also have ingredients of successful Islamic therapy, and we will talk about therapists. We will talk about trials and therapists. You yourself, you are the remedy in itself. So how to present yourself. Trials and tribulations, because this is on the tongue of your clients. You will need to know the lingo. You will need to know how to work with it, but also based on fundamentals of Islamic theology. So everything that I'm teaching in this course goes back and is supported with evidence from Quran and Sunnah. And just like in my book, you can expect really in-depth perspectives on subjects like jinns, angels, names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, stories of the prophets, how to work with 5 pillars, sabr and shukr. In a simple word of that meaning of that word, I'm presenting to you spiritual aspects and therapeutic aspects of everything that you already had, or maybe advised to others already, but you didn't know how to do it, how to shortcut it. And now, Code of Being Islamic Therapist is another module. And in that module, you will understand from perspective of theory, but also from the perspective of psychology and an evidence-based practice. What is it that's happening with you, thanks to you on the therapy? How is it that you being the best remedy? And that is that we need to talk about your akhlaq. We have to talk about your methods of nasiha, how you relate to others, how you're using ethics, how you're dealing with mirroring, which in common psychology language is transference, how you're using Islamic core conditions, and how you're abiding to morals and ethics. And if that's not enough, you will also have access to business essentials, something that none of the counseling or none of the psychology courses got to offer, but coaching programs, they do that already. And what you're going to learn through that course and support that you're going to receive through that course as well with some printouts is basically, I'm going to guide you from zero to hero, and you will understand how to start your online business as an Islamic therapist, coach, or counselor and psychotherapist from the beginning. So say, for instance, you want to start, you just graduated, you're doing this CPD course with me, this continuous personal development with me, but you've never done business before. Don't worry, everything will be laid out for you from the beginning to the end, including how to manage your time, how to register your business, how to maintain your own accountancy skills, how to market your business, even details such as building your website and finding your niche and attracting the right clients and maintaining healthy boundaries for yourself. So if you want to know more, if you are interested in studying this program and being tutored by me online, this is a new course called Raising Islamic Therapists Within. Click that link below, and I see you on the other side. Thank you for your time, and hopefully until next video, don't forget to sign up to my YouTube channel, AJS Therapy, for more information, hopefully useful like this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.